All right.
We have returned.
Oh, I was gonna be like 3, 2, 1, and then go.
Oh,
You ready? Want to do it again?
I'm ready.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Hello!
We're back.
We're back, and we've got new microphones installed.
Yeah, listen to that sound quality. It's beautiful.
It sounds so good.
And hopefully it'll sound just as good when we upload it onto the internet.
Onto the interwebs.
Yay.
Hey.
So, yeah, we had like a busy last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I know we like say that every time we come on the fucking show.
Well, we have lives, unfortunately.
Yeah. I had some stuff going on at work, and then I had to go away for the weekend. And then we recorded an episode a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I put that up, like I was going to put that first half of the Pink Floyd thing up, take a week, and then put up the episode, and then put the second half up. And then I went to go put the first episode up, the episode with me and Josh. And Josh's channels, for some reason, I couldn't hear him at all.
Yeah, I was incredibly low, and then Connor was incredibly high.
And also just like it was like clipping.
Yeah.
It was clipping.
Yeah.
So I was like, ugh.
So it was a bit of a mess.
Yeah. But things seem to be going well now.
Yeah, we got like a soundboard and stuff.
Yay.
We're all fancy. And
we are professional podcasters.
I've got like a proper microphone set up with like a pop filter and stuff, and Connor's holding his microphone in his hand.
I had because we only have one boom mic stand right now. I might either try and get another one or see if we can borrow one.
The only piece that's missing on mine is this part. On the other one, that's like the other one, like the bottom's a little bit broken, but like on my other one, this just piece is missing. So if you unscrew that one,
because this came with the SM58.
Oh yeah, if you just fucking unscrew that, then we've got a good deal.
Yeah, so just bring that over and then we can.
We solved our problem, Connor.
Yay! We can lunge about.
I can bring my other little pop filter so we can make it all look fancy.
Oh, bitchin' in the kitchen.
Bitchin' in the kitchen.
All right. So so welcome to You'll Like 'Em.
Yep.
We say about 2 minutes into the episode.
Yeah. And we definitely like talked for almost a good solid hour and could have had like an episode but then didn't.
Yeah, we were sitting around here trying to get Audacity to work.
We found out Milos Forman is fucking dead.
Yeah, so Milos Forman, the director of such movies as not Clockwork Orange, holy fuck.
That would be crazy.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Which is my personal favorite.
Amadeus is mine. And although Cuckoo's Nest is also a phenomenal movie. And People vs. Larry Flint, Man on the Moon, stuff like that.
Yeah. I still need to see People vs. Larry Flint.
I need to see that and Man on the Moon.
I need to watch Fireman's Ball. They talk about it a lot in Odyssey, the history of film.
Yeah, because
with Michael Cousins.
That was banned from his home country of Czechoslovakia, and I want to know why.
Yeah, it's you know what, it's probably just offensive for that government rather than like probably not all that offensive to begin with.
Oh yeah,
it's probably it's probably no more tamed than like a Seth Rogen movie.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So, but like at the time it was probably like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of not tame, I just saw Deadpool 2 very recently.
How was that?
Have you seen the first one?
Yeah, I saw the first one.
I think it's definitely better than the first one.
I've been hearing that. I've been hearing it's a lot more fun.
Because, well, I mean, the first one's good and fun because, you know, it's just like, oh, he's swearing a lot.
Yeah,
and it's an R-rated.
Breaking the fourth wall.
It's an R-rated horror, fucking superhero movie.
Yeah.
And we haven't had, and by the time it came out, it was the first one.
Yeah.
So we were like, well, the first one in like good 20 years or so, and we were like, yeah. So, like, to have that was great.
Yeah.
But it was very low budget. Like, the CGI wasn't great.
Yeah.
To be fair, they haven't upped CGI that much. In this one, the CGI guy still looks the exact same. And there's another CGI character, and they two have a fight. And Ryan Reynolds goes like, "Oh, it's gonna be a big CGI battle, guys." Oh.
They know they suck.
But yeah, did you ever see? Do you know Taika Waititi?
Yeah.
He directed. So he directed. For those of you who don't know, he directed Thor Ragnarok, which was a very weird choice, but it worked really well. I think.
Yeah. That's not like one of the one. No. That's all canon, isn't it? Ragnarok.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all okay. Yeah. I didn't see it, but like what I liked about it was I was like, okay, like it's a very different like because I've seen like the first Thor movie and then I saw like bits of the other one. And I hated the first one.
The first one and the second one are not as good.
But like I liked that I was like, okay, they're taking their already existing character and making like it more like fun having like. Oh, just a weirder story. You know, we got Jeff Goldblum as like an alien.
It's a very 80s feeling movie.
Yeah, and I like that. I thought that was interesting. I just think like if they'd done it like standalone, they probably could have like done more stuff with it.
Yeah. So he's directed several other movies that are critically acclaimed. He directed one called What We Do in the Shadows.
I hear that's really funny.
It is hilarious.
The vampire one.
The vampire one.
I've always wanted to see that.
No, you have to watch it. It's really funny.
Oh god.
And then he did one called Boy, which is about a young boy growing up in because he's from New Zealand, so a lot of stuff takes place in New Zealand. So one Boy, it's about a young boy in New Zealand whose dad comes back after being in jail.
Got you.
And then he does another one called Hunt for the Wilder People.
I wanted to see that.
That's
Sam Neill,
my
right?
boy Sam Neill in it. Yeah. And the young boy in it, Julian Dennison, right? Yeah, Julian Dennison. Is in the new Deadpool movie.
Is he really? Is he the kid that's...
He's the fat kid, yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so he's in that because I saw him and I was like, oh, that's the kid from Hunt for the Wilder People. I've not seen it, but I knew that was him.
Did he also direct Deadpool too?
No.
Okay.
The guy who directed Deadpool
I was going to be like, wow, okay.
He hasn't directed many great things. So like I found out he was directing and I was like, he directed John Wick.
Oh, okay.
Did he direct John Wick? Or did he like produce it? Let me have a look. John Wick. He was uncredited as director? How does that happen? Hold on.
Oh, was it one of the John Smithy situations?
Oh, it was no. Directed by Chad Stahelski and David Leitch or Leitch.
David Lynch. What the fuck?
So he helped direct it. But he also directed Atomic Blonde, which was kind of people were like about.
I heard much like John Wick, it's just a fun stylized action film.
Yeah, but Deadpool 2 like the I think the cinematography is more interesting like cuz in the last one it was just like
yeah.
But and the jokes work better, I feel. I think because they have the bigger budget, you know, it looks better. Like it feels like there's more
to it.
Not to say that like the first one was just half-assed or rushed or anything like that, but they didn't have a big budget and they poked fun at that a lot of the times.
Yeah.
But I feel this one worked better. There's a whole segment where he creates this team called X-Force, which is actually in the comics.
Yeah.
And I won't say anything about that, but that scene is great.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I just remember seeing it in the trailer where they're like, it seems like it's like a joke at like the X-Men or like just in general.
X-Force, I think, was made as like an offshoot of the X-Men or because it was still in Marvel.
Yeah.
So like an offshoot of the X-Men, or something like that. I don't know much about it. I don't care for anything Rob Liefeld does, even though he made Deadpool, right?
I don't know much about Deadpool. I'm not a
Rob Liefeld.
I'm not the Marvel
Rob
boy.
Liefeld, yeah. So Rob Liefeld's famous because he couldn't draw feet.
Are you serious?
Uh-huh. So like all his characters like would be shot at an angle in the comics where you couldn't see their feet because he couldn't draw feet.
That's funny.
and like the body proportions would be bizarre because
that's
like
funny.
that. I mean that's something that happens in comics all the time.
Yeah.
So like yeah. So it's like a piss take in this movie on like the X-Men.
Okay.
But like it all works really well.
I'm sure there's a lot of jokes about Logan.
Yes, there is one about Logan. And there's a joke where he gets thrown into a room.
Yeah.
And there's a kid eating cereal and he signs his cereal box Ryan Reynolds where there's a picture of Wolverine on it like that. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
That's funny.
And what was the other one? Oh, he also makes because Josh Brolin's in it. And Josh Brolin was Thanos in Infinity War.
Yeah,
the new Avengers movie, and he called him Thanos in it as well. So I was like, I get it because.
I wonder if Deadpool. I wonder if because it's Sony, right, that owns the rights to Deadpool, or
no,
is it Fox? Fox, right?
Fox were just bought over by Disney.
Yeah. Oh, never mind.
And
so
Disney owns.
Deadpool will be in Avengers.
I don't know, man, because
really.
Okay, well, because Avengers are PG-13.
Uh-huh.
So if you want Deadpool in there, you're gonna have to really pull back.
But like, I can guarantee you, kids watch Deadpool. I can guarantee you that for a fucking fact.
Well, they're not supposed to.
They're not supposed to, but who gives a shit?
Dude,
man, when Alien came out, that shit was intense, and they fucking made toys for it, and kids ate that shit up. Like, I had this talk. I think it was with Ethan the other night or something. My friend who I'm doing like soundtracking stuff with. I was just like talking like do studios think kids are stupid? Like, I feel like a lot of people forget what it's like to be a kid. Like, what it feels like to me is like when you learn stuff as a kid, it's like you're slowly getting your memory back. Like, your functionality is all there, like all your properties of how you understand things, and it's just like, oh, right, stove hot, got it.
Yeah,
understandable. So like, you learn like violence and you learn like sex, and you're just like, oh yeah, okay. So like I knew at an early age, I was like, yeah, sex is like, how you make kids, but I didn't know what a vagina looked like, and I didn't know like what you did, but like I knew sex was a thing.
You saw in the movies.
Yeah, two people were rubbing up on each other, and I was like, yeah, you just rub on each other.
You saw like in like James Bond movies when you'd like kiss the girl in bed, and you're like, so that's what sex is.
Yeah.
Hard macking.
Hard macking. I put a lot of spit in my mouth and shoot it into their mouth. Like a xenomorph.
Yeah, just stick your tongue right down the throat there. Like a xenomorph.
Like a xenomorph with my little tongue, with my little mouth. But no, yeah, I think Deadpool will be in Avengers. I would be shocked if not so. Not as like a main character, but like maybe like a little cameo, like, hey, Papa.
Totally could see him as a cameo.
Cameo, absolutely. Maybe not
because
role.
PG-13s are allowed one F-bomb.
Yeah.
So like he totally could be like Deadpool's like doing something and he comes back and he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then that's it. Whoa.
Here's the F-bomb. like he literally says, hey, I'm the rated R part of this movie. Fuck.
Yeah. That would probably be something.
Like he appears out of a hole that like Thanos creates or something. He's like, whatever. And then Thanos does like that like ash thing and he disappears and he comes back. He's like,
oh, spoilers!
Oh,
no,
I don't care. Like, well, no, I just thought it was like his power because I didn't see Infinity War. I just know that like that's how he kills people.
Yeah, because what happens?
We didn't tell anybody's dead.
Spoilers.
Spoilers for Infinity War.
Like
if you care.
Quick spoiler. So if you don't want to hear this part, I guess skip on a few minutes.
Yeah, I guess so.
But so what happens is
I know a lot of people die.
He gets all the stones.
Yeah, of course.
And then he goes like, well, and his plan is he wants to, is there's overpopulation in the universe. And he's like, there's a finite amount of resources in this universe, and we're using them up at a disgustingly fast pace.
Oh, so he's the good guy.
Well, he wants to kill half of the population of the entire universe.
Yeah, but he also wants to get rid of all those shitty superheroes don't care about. So,
yeah.
You know what? I think I like Thanos.
Yeah, Thanos is the good guy. But what's really good about this movie, and that's what people are like, Brooks doesn't like it. So like,
oh, he didn't like Infinity War?
He didn't.
Oh, that's funny. I thought he would be enthralled.
But he didn't like it. But what I like about it is that it's all Thanos's like point of view.
Oh, really?
Essentially, like it does cut back to the Avengers and stuff like that. But like most of the time, we're focused on Thanos and like why he's doing this and everything like that. And he's a psychopath, because he's a villain. But like he thinks he's doing the right thing.
Yeah, of course.
And like he's like, I'm trying to save the universe by like making sure that like the people who are left live a fantastic life because there's not going to be it's not going to be an overpopulated place.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be more food for everybody. Like homeless people will be able to get food because there's going to be less people to eat all that food. There's going to be more resources for people to use. So like he's saying all this and you're kind of like, oh, so that's a good idea. And then one of the Avengers, like Captain America's like, but you're going to kill half of the population of the galaxy, of the universe. And then you're like, yeah. I mean, that sucks. And especially because like so let me just give you the death count. Spider-Man's dead.
Yeah, I heard Spider-Man dies.
Captain
Strange. America actually lives.
Yes, which I was pissed.
Oh yeah,
about.
Everybody thought he was gonna.
I wanted him to die. I said if Infinity Wars happens, and Captain America survives to the end, I'm never seeing another Marvel movie again. And I fucking just saw Deadpool. So
well, you lied.
Yeah, I lied.
You didn't follow my rule. If I saw Batman vs Superman in theaters, and I swore, when did that come out? That was like 2015 or 16, right?
16, I think.
I swore I would never pay for another superhero movie ever again, and I have held to that promise. Have yet to do that, and probably never will.
Well, so I'm back at the movie theater. I told you that, right?
I didn't think. Did you leave or no?
I left. Like I took a leave.
You're right.
And then they were like, "Oh, we're closing down." And then RC bought us.
Yeah. Then they got then someone like bought them, right?
You know, RC, the people who own like some of the ones in PA.
Yeah.
And so now
that's the one I go to in Gettysburg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gateway.
Yeah, the Gateway.
I went there. I've been there twice. First time was Civil War. I said I'd never go back. And then the second time, someone bought me tickets and was like, "We're going to Gateway." And I was like, "Oh, fuck, okay."
I like Gateway. It's a great theater.
I do too, but I just saw Civil War there, and I fucking hate Civil War.
Oh, I hate Civil War too. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's a great theater. Shitty movie.
And then I saw Deadpool 2, and there was a woman in the back of the theater who thought every tiny joke in the movie was fucking hilarious.
I watched somebody's review of Infinity War, and like they said, like they were in the theater, and like when they were
YMS.
No, it wasn't YMS.
Because I'm pretty sure he said like any of the jokes in it, people were like applauding at.
This person said the same thing. She said that people were just fucking gasping when people were dying, and like it seems ridiculous because like, of course they're all gonna come back for part 2. One of the Infinity Stones or whatever doesn't it deal with time or like warps?
Yeah. Because
Oh, all right. So
because Thanos, because there's a great scene. Do you remember Vision, the purple guy?
Yeah.
So he tells Scarlet Witch, the good Olsen.
Yeah. The good Olsen.
Yeah. Who's completely forgotten about her accent in this movie.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't do the Russian accent anymore,
wow.
Thank God.
She's adapted.
Yeah, but so he's like, this Infinity Stone in my head, if you destroy that, Thanos won't be able to use it. He's like, it's gonna kill me, but like I'd rather die than let Thanos get the Infinity Stone.
Yeah.
So she destroys it. Thanos comes and he's like, listen, I understand what you did. Like, I would have done the same thing. But, and he uses his Infinity Gauntlet, rewinds time. Now, mind you, Vision has just died.
Yeah.
Rewinds time to before Vision died, and then rips the Infinity Stone out of his head, killing him again.
Wow, that's funny.
It's fucking brutal, man. It's metal as shit.
I completely understand what you did, but now I'm going to do it properly that benefits me.
Yeah. And then Thor comes with an axe and buries it in Thanos' chest.
Cool. And then does nothing because
and
alive.
then Thanos is like, you should aim for the head, and then he like kills half the people.
Oh wow!
And then he fucks off to like this cabin somewhere.
Thanos?
Thanos like teleports away to this cabin on like his planet or something, and watches the sunset.
Oh.
Because that's what he said. He was like, I'm gonna do this, and he's like, and then I'm gonna watch the sunset on a perfect galaxy. Oh. And he does it.
Oh.
And it's like you're watching, and you're like, oh fuck, he won, but like he's happy, and it's not like a mwahaha, I've destroyed the universe. He's like, I've saved the universe, kind of happy, and you're like, ugh.
It's like watching Hitler enjoy a nice steak on his veranda in like the Swiss Alps.
No, it's not.
What? Isn't that the same things?
I
Who's
guess
worse, Hitler or Thanos?
Hitler.
Well, yeah, you're right. He's real.
He's a real person.
I forgot he's not fictitious.
Thanos killed half of the universe. But also, like, he
doesn't exist.
He didn't torture them, and he didn't like starve them and just pick on them specific people because of of their beliefs.
You could have just stopped at
their heritage.
Thanos doesn't exist.
Yeah, but he kills. So he kills Spider-Man, he kills Doctor Strange, he kills the Guardians of the Galaxy,
except for
all of them,
Raccoon.
but Rocket.
Yeah.
And Rocket has to watch his friend Groot fucking die in front of him.
Yeah, Groot's dead.
Yeah.
Well,
the Guardians of the Galaxy I like.
I like Guardians of the Galaxy.
See, that's the one that everybody seems to like, even if they don't like the Marvel movies.
Because to me, what I thought when I first saw the first one, I was like, oh, this is fun, and it's got some pokes at the Marvel universe and just some of the cliches of being a superhero.
Yeah,
it's got a good soundtrack. I think it's shot well. It's edited well.
It had David Bowie in the soundtrack.
It had David Bowie and Moon Age Daydream.
It was one of my favorites.
Fucking love that.
Fucking Mick Ronson's guitar solo.
Fuck yeah.
Hold on. I want to talk about Mick Ronson real quick.
Go ahead.
Because Mick Ronson doesn't get the credit he deserves.
He does not. Nor does his outfits that he wears at like some of the Bowie concerts. Have you seen those? Dude.
The one he does for the Ziggy Stardust movie.
Oh, God.
He looks like he was a rejected member of Kiss.
He
without
does.
The makeup. Well, he did have makeup on at the time.
He's also got like a mullet. And so does David Bowie.
Yeah,
Ziggy's got a mullet.
Ziggy Stardust has a mullet.
He made mullets cool for a brief time in like the early 70s, and like this is the only time it's okay, and now it's not okay ever again.
I once watched a fucking.
Oh my God.
It was a page on the worst and best mullets of all time, and Paul McCartney I think had one of the worst.
Oh God, he had one in the 80s too.
I mean, I don't think his was as bad as say like
Business in the front, party in the back.
It's like anyone from Kajagoogoo.
Yeah, or fucking what the fuck is his name? The dude from the Faces and the Small Faces.
Oh, Rod Stewart.
Rod Stewart's got a shitty mullet,
and Rod Stewart's had the same hair since 1967. Dude.
Yeah, I like the John Oliver joke of like party in the front, party in the back, and there's just too much party everywhere else.
Oh, I hate Rod Stewart.
I like Rod Stewart.
I don't.
I like his voice.
I like young. Is it Young Turks?
Oh.
Young hearts be free
Yeah.
tonight. That's the only Rod Stewart song I like.
I like Ooh La La about like growing up and stuff.
I haven't heard that one.
That's the one's like, I wish that I knew what I knew now until I got older.
I also, have you ever heard him with the Jeff Beck group?
No. He played with Jeff Beck?
He played with Jeff. So like Jeff Beck was in like the Yardbirds, and then when he left, he started his first couple solo stuff. And he had the Jeff Beck group, which was, I forget who the original drummer was. It was, I think the guy like played with some like 60s mod band.
Oh, okay.
But he had Nicky Hopkins, who was a American session pianist, who played with fucking Jefferson Airplane.
Oh, fuck.
Played with he played on Imagine. He was the one that played Jealous Guy, the piano part in Jealous Guy.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
John Lennon was horrible to him behind the scenes.
Of course he was.
Like there's a scene of them
because of course he was.
there's like a clip of John Lennon like doing like kind of noises, and then Nicky joins in and he turns to him and he goes like, "Shut the fuck up, Nicky."
You know what? I wonder if someone totally saw any of the snaps I've created on my phone after I die and they're out of context, I'm sure those look pretty awful too.
Yeah. But like apparently, like I don't know, I heard Nicky Hopkins was just like, yeah, it wasn't a good experience altogether.
Yeah. I'm
but
sure.
Nicky Hopkins was also a Scientologist, so there's no excuse.
Okay. No, I don't feel so bad.
Yeah. Phenomenal pianist, but come on, dude. Yeah, I think Ronnie Wood was the bassist.
Yeah.
Ronnie Wood, who then was Rod Stewart's guitarist and then played with the Faces and the Stones now.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff, like, I forget what the album that it's off of, where they do Blues Deluxe, but it's actually fucking solid.
Really?
Like Rod Stewart's got in that context, I think his voice sounds great. The same way that like. Have you ever heard really, really, really early Free?
Yeah.
Like their first album? Their first album's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Like Paul Rogers is like he's like 18 and he's singing like he's like a 32-year-old black blues singer.
Fuck
Paul Kossoff's like 19. Fucking Andy Fraser, the bassist, is like 16 or 15.
Really?
He was like the youngest member in the band.
You're making me sad.
I know.
Old
that's
and
what
not
I think.
Accomplished.
I heard that album and I was like, this album's great. And I'm like, I looked at it and was like, bassist Andy Fraser was 15, and I'm like, oh.
Fucking, I looked at my YouTube channel the other day, and I was like, oh, I went up from 450 to 462. Cool. And then I realized fucking George Harrison was only 27 when the Beatles broke up, and now I know that. Also, my favorite album by the Faces is Ogden's Nuts Gone
That's Small
Flake.
Faces.
Yeah.
Ogden's Not Gone Flake.
Yeah.
My dad loves that
Small
album.
Faces, my bad.
It's got is the song called Ogden's Not Gone Flake too?
Yeah.
And
the narrator talking over it.
Yeah.
I really like fucking the one they use in fucking Grand Theft Auto.
That's Ogden's Not Gone Flake, I think.
No, it's
or something like that. Because they have Ichiku Park's the one that everybody likes.
Oh, you might be right. No, it's the. No, I think you're right. I think you are right. But no, I thought that one was the one that has like the narration and stuff. I think I'm thinking of it might be on a different album. I think it's on a different album.
Ogden's
I really like
Flake.
Afterglow though. Afterglow is fucking great. Afterglow of Your Love.
Mm-hmm. I like Steve Marriott as well, the singer. But then when I do because that's Small Faces. So that was Steve Marriott.
Yeah.
And Ian. Oh God, what's the keyboardist's name? There's controversy behind this album. Oh, because they do a parody of the Lord's Player.
Oh.
Small Faces, which were in the studios, hallowed be thy name, thy music come, thy songs be sung on this album as they came from your heads. We give this
I can
day
understand
our
why
daily
you don't
bread.
like Rod Stewart.
We give this day our daily bread. Give us thy album in a round cover as we give thee 37.9D. Lead us to the record store and deliver us Ogden's Not Gone Flake, for nice is the music and sleeve and the story forever and ever immediate. That's great.
Fuck yeah.
But that's Steve Marriott, Ronnie Lane, Kenny Jones, who would be the drummer for The Who after Keithman died, and Ian McLaughlin, or McLaughlin. It might be McLaughlin, who played with the Faces and the Small Faces and the Rolling Stones. And Steve Marriott went to do Humble Pie, and Steve Marriott's one of my favorite singers of all time, with his crazy little, I don't need no doctor. I can't do Steve Marriott to save my fucking life.
I don't think
I wish I was a
Rod Stewart's one of those artists. I think I've talked about this on the show. He was one of the artists that like I saw live before I knew who he was. Like I saw him and I was like, oh, I know like this song and I kind of know this song. And he
Maggie.
He played Maggie and like
I hate Maggie May.
Oh, I like Maggie.
Fucking hate Maggie May.
He fucking played with goddamn Stevie Nicks, and I was there for Stevie Nicks. I was like, I like Rod Stewart, but like I want to see Stevie fucking Nicks. And she was so high. She was so high.
Do I have Humble Pie on my phone right now?
There's no way she was not high when I saw her.
Oh, I'm gonna have Humble Pie on here, which that would be very disappointing.
Not to spread rumors against Stevie Nicks. I love her, but she looked as though she had been popping pills. Like some downers the entire time with a bottle of Jack.
There's a Rod Stewart song off of that same album as Maggie May that I really like. Let me find it. I think it's got Ian McLaughlin on it too. And it's got like a fucking crazy drum beat to it. Let me find it if my phone will fucking work. But there's something about Rod Stewart that just turns me off. I think it's the image and everything like that.
Oh, I'm sure he's definitely like a sort of a cocky ass.
I know I'm losing you.
And this is when we fade into the actual MP3 of it to make it all sound nice. Just like NPR. And I'll go whisper in your ears and tell you about this woman who worked at Allied and how she was sexually harassed, and she convinced a bunch of like the newcomers to stop sexual harassment in her industry. And I only say this because I was listening to NPR earlier in the car, and this is literally what they were talking about. It was cool. It was an interesting story. Oh, yeah.
The album with Jeff Beck that he was on is called Truth. So check that one out too. That one's good.
Yeah, I definitely want to listen to more of his work.
Because
Rod Stewart's one of the ones I just know for the hits.
This is off of the album Every Picture Tells a Story.
Yeah.
But
I did not think we'd be playing Rod Stewart today.
This is technically a Small Faces song because it has Ronnie Lane, Kenny Jones, and this is a Faces, Small Faces, and then you got Ian McLaughlin. But like he's got that kind of raspy voice, which I'm not a huge fan of.
Oh, you know me, I love raspy voices.
Have you ever heard of Frankie Miller?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I don't name me some stuff.
He did a song called Caledonia, which was really famous in Scotland because he's from Scotland.
Oh, got it. Is he from like the 70s?
Yes.
Okay.
He is.
I want to say my dad's played me.
He is one of Bob Seger's favorite singers.
Oh. And
if you listen to him, you'll hear his vocal, his singing. You'll be like, "Oh, that sounds exactly like Bob Seger."
Oh, okay.
I find the song I really like by him. It's called "Jealousy."
Here, you'll most certainly know this song. All right, that's not it. It's an ad for Oreos,
which is not on here. Damn it.
This has like been used in so many like family comedies or like, you know, movies about families or even like coming of age movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's one of those. Were you there, or was this like 100-year thing where I comprised a list of songs that are like cliched and used in commercials, like Peter Gabriel's Salisbury Hill.
I love Salisbury.
I love Salisbury Hill too.
Who's this?
This is the Faces. This is Rod Stewart. Although I don't think Rod Stewart's singing on this part.
What's this song called?
It's called Ooh La La. I know how to play this guitar actually. I knew what I know now. When I get younger, wish that I knew what I know now. A little stronger. I just when I hear this song, I see like
I think it's Ronnie Wood. I think it's Ronnie Wood singing it.
It sounds very much like Ronnie. It may not be. I may be wrong.
That's lead. Yeah, that's Ronnie Wood.
Yeah. Oh yeah, writer Ronnie Wood. Whenever I hear this song, I just see like a family sitting at like either a dinner table or a diner table, and it's like from the perspective outside of a window, and they're just like laughing and joking, and it's like slowly zooming out, and it's like end credits of a movie, and you're like, oh, they're a happy family again.
And then like someone comes and shoots them.
That just shoots up. They're like, oh shit! Like it's a shooting movie.
I really want to have like a really happy track juxtaposed over something very disturbing or awful.
Oh god, yeah.
Like
hell yeah.
I want to play Money, like the guitar solo Money, over someone like going through drug withdrawal.
Oh god, yeah. Man,
and like shooting up and then like
I remember speaking of two things. I remember when me and my boy Hoop, we were talking about an idea because like we were like, oh, we really like The Wall, but like Dark Side of the Moon would probably make a really interesting film as well. And I forget like what the idea we came up with, but like the one I had was like a guy who was like mentally insane who becomes like a Fortune 500 like owner of a company, and they like all just kind of tanks or something. But no. So when did you move to Maryland? Like, how long have you been here?
2005.
All right, cool. I gotta call ICE. Anyways, no, I'm kidding.
I have my green card. I'll show you. shit.
Coming, and you're just like taking a credit card, and you're with a green Sharpie, and you're like,
But it's not actually green. It's like a kind of tealish blue color.
So did you ever watch the really shitty PSA about heroin kills? Do you know about
Of course I've seen heroin
Okay,
kills.
so you know I did this to me.
You know what I like one time I was trying to write stand up
Oh no.
And I wrote a piece about heroin kills.
Oh no.
And I'm like,
oh me, oh my.
I was like, so the guy like at the funeral, like the drug dealer kid was like,
the drug dealer comes to the funeral. I forgot about that. He's like
because
looking
he's like the sister, like the girlfriend's brother or something like that.
Yeah, it's the girlfriend's brother, or he's like now like the boyfriend of the sister or something.
Yeah, something
and he's
like
just
that.
like, oh, it's okay, babe. And he looks down. It's like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah, and he looks down the body and he says like some like off like innocuous comment about like, you know, you couldn't handle it or something like that.
Yeah, it's like, fuck you, dude.
He's like, sorry, bud, you just couldn't handle it. And I'm like, so what the fuck happened when this guy found out that like his friend had died? Like some guy's coming and he's like, John, I got some really bad news. Jim overdosed on heroin. And he's like, fucking pussy. Couldn't handle
his
it.
Sunglasses come down. Fucking
he's like,
wuss.
well, I told him he could only handle. He's like, John, what the fuck are you? John,
what is wrong with you?
John, what the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean you told? John, did you sell Bill? Did you sell Bill heroin?
I thought it was Jim.
Did you sell Jim heroin? Well, I'm not saying anything, Bill. I'm just saying that he could have. Oh my God, John! Oh, you killed her friend. You're a son of a bitch. Like that.
Are you ready for this though?
Yeah,
ready for this?
Ready for this.
I've got some news. I can't speak too much about this.
Oh.
But somebody I know, who also does video production, just got the rights to do Heroin Kills 2. Dun 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 dun. I don't know. Dun 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 dun. Dun. I don't know what my involvement will be, but I know one of my other friends who's a bit closer to this guy. This guy who got the rights is more of like an acquaintance I know, and then my friend is more involved than I am. I'm gonna weasel my way into that somehow. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I even told him, like, I remember when I was getting into film and I had watched Heroin Kills and I was like, this is so awful. I want to make my own. Like, I'm gonna make a real heroin thing.
It's hard. The Heroin Kills is such a so okay. If anybody listens to this who doesn't live in Maryland,
yeah, in the Westminster, Carroll County area, it's most certainly a Carroll County meme.
It's also, I think it goes like there's another county that shows it too.
Yeah, I think it bleeds over into. I think it actually bleeds over into other states as well.
Other states?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I think like in PA and like West Virginia.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, anyway. So
there's definitely people from Frederick County that know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a video that was made in Carroll County, in Westminster, that was supposed to be because. Fun fact: the high school we went to, I went to.
Yeah, you went to Westminster. I went to Century.
Yeah, the high school I went to, its nickname was Heroin High.
And I used that as a reference in my movie Land of Kings about selling drugs. They're like, "Oh, why would we sell heroin at Westminster? Oh, it's called Heroin High." Duh. Even people at Century knew that. Like, we were like, "Oh, it's the heroin place."
Yeah, and that's what we got told when we were going to Westminster.
Go to Heroin High.
They were like, so there's a nickname for Westminster High School, and it's Heroin High. But we assure you, like, heroin is no longer an issue at this high school. And I'm like sitting here, tiny little 9th grader, and I'm like, oh God, I might die.
Heroin's everywhere. It's gonna get me in the walls. A little needle's gonna sneak out and hit me.
I'm gonna go to the water fountain. I'm like, this tastes like heroin. No.
Some dude with a blow dart's gonna shoot you full of heroin.
Yeah. I walk up on stage to one of the shows and I like start to deliver a line and she's like,
boom, 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 boom. A bunch of needles hit you in the neck.
Look like fucking Hellraiser.
So high and addicted to drugs now.
But so there was a heroin problem in Westminster for many years, and a young kids died because of heroin, and his parents wanted to make like a fictionalized version of his life.
Yeah.
And like their intentions were nothing but like
very noble and
very you know
like they wanted to like spread the message of like, don't let this happen to your kids.
Yeah.
But just the production of it
that's the main thing.
So
if they needed someone who knew what they were doing for it, who knew like what to do for making a movie, because that's the main issue of this is it's just not well made, and it's got the I did this to me.
Oh God line.
It's got like the bad music and stuff like that, and just all of it none of it works. But like I was saying this when I was trying to write this. If they'd hired someone who knew how to make a movie, knew what to do,
how to make a movie, or just understood like the realities of heroin addiction,
then that would be the perfect it would be a really good anti-drug thing. And at least it was heroin. It wasn't like weed or anything like that.
But that's what sucks about that movie too. There's that whole line of like the dude's like, oh well, I only smoke weed, and he's like, oh no dude, this is just like the same thing or whatever, and it's like, what? like they totally enforce a thing of like weed is a gateway drug, and it's like such bullshit. But like what my worry is, I can't talk too much about this, but I'm afraid that what the state wants for heroin kills too, they're gonna make the same mistakes. And what the problem is with heroin kills, the first one, is that it's trying to teach the lesson of like what the war on drugs was. It was like, oh, it's all these criminals selling drugs to our kids. That's the problem. When drug addiction should really be looked more at as like a health issue than a criminal offense. Like, and that's the problem. And like what the people want to do for heroin kills too, it's a very noble cause. Like these people are like, we want to make sure kids don't do heroin, all that stuff. But the reality is like kids are going to do drugs. And what you really should be teaching is what to do if something bad goes happen. Like teach how to use the epidermic needles and shit like that. Like the stuff that stops you from overdosing. Narcan, like teach people how to use that. Because like people are just going to do drugs. Like that's just going to happen. And like one thing I don't know if they realize is like it's a problem that isn't like, well, here's the cause and here's the effect, and we just got to get rid of the cause. It is multiple causes with multiple effects that affects a lot of people for different reasons. Like one of the big problems is the pharmaceutical industry, and I'm afraid they won't talk about that in the sequel. And that's where I feel like it's going to become disgenuine.
This message brought to you by Ronald Reagan's War on Drugs.
All right, well, this is all very anti-Ronald Reagan is what I'm saying. Well, I'm Ronald Reagan, and I guess I'll go fuck myself about everything I've ever done.
And here I'm going to bring in my good friend Tipper Gore to talk about why music is bad. Why we should censor music.
Well, I didn't know anything about Iran-Contra. You didn't know anything that was going in your own office? Well, I know everything about the office. So you knew about Iran-Contra? Well, no!
Let me give you an analogy to the work that my good friend Jimmy Stewart told me once.
Yeah, his actor friend Jimmy Stewart.
Well, I got this. This reminds me of a time I had a conversation with a little well-known fellow named John Wayne.
Oh, John Wayne. Man,
the Duke.
Not the Duke. Not to get sidetracked on Ronald Reagan. I would just like to bring up Ronald Reagan started a part of his career by being a rat and selling out a lot of his friends as communists. True shit. Anyways, Ronald Reagan sucks. But no, yeah, like my fear is, and I don't know the full details, but like when I was talking about it with my friend, he was saying like they didn't want to have real people involved, like people who had actually like survived heroin addiction or anything like that. And that just didn't like make a whole lot of sense to me. Like I think like if you're going to do it, one of the smart things to do is probably actually have like people who are survivors of addiction and have them like talk about like, you know, like what is like, you know, what happened and what's more likable and what's more not likable, what's more realistic.
Is the plan to make a movie or is the plan to make like a documentary?
I'm not sure.
I don't want to try and get too much out of this if you can't talk too much.
It's that I can't give off like information on like when it's gonna be made and stuff like that. But like I'm also don't know what's going to happen. The idea that I proposed to weasel myself in somehow, but also to make it more of a community thing.
Yeah.
Was to take 3 separate stories. You could either have them all tie into one another, or they could all just be 3 separate stories that deal with like.
This is your Tarantino idea.
This is my Tarantino idea that deal with like different situations of how people got addicted to heroin. You know, dealing with the pharmaceutical industry. You have someone who like an older person. Who either broke their leg or something, and they needed to be prescribed opioids, and then got addicted to like OxyContin, and then no longer could get covered for it, so they ended up just buying heroin. You could have somebody who's a young story that started out where like they were just experimenting. Fun fact: most young people who start out drinking alcohol go to heroin more often than kids who smoke weed. True fact.
Yeah, I mean,
isn't that great?
Yeah.
They're more likely to do heroin and cocaine rather than marijuana.
Yeah.
Kids who start drinking, so you can have something like that. Yeah. And then you can have like
That's why alcohol's bad, folks.
You can have like an adult in between that like maybe shares like the same stories or another situation like and like what I was thinking about you could do is like, you know, you give it to like 3 separate people. I could be one of them. And the Rosinski brothers could be one. The guys, the Nicone boys, they're really good. Or somebody else, or anybody who else, like, you know.
My boy Weston.
Weston could direct his own.
We'll get you on.
We'll get you directing a heroin story.
Yeah, real quick. So we have had requests from Weston and some other of my work friends and Spencer to come on the show.
Well, please, let's bring him on.
We have to, because Spencer. Well, I think Spencer thinks that we don't like him.
No,
because
I want to put Spencer in stuff.
Yeah,
I actually want to. I'm filming something with Bowen that I want to put him in.
Because he's like, you need it. Like, he's like, I want to come on the podcast, and I'm like, well, I need to talk to Josh and figure out the time that we can all meet up to do it. I was like, and figure out what to talk about. And then the other idea for the Regal now RC boys that we were talking about was the Arctic Monkeys just put out a new album.
Did they really?
And apparently it's very different. So I'm gonna listen to that. Maybe you can listen to it too. And we got enough mics. We could probably have mic slots. We could probably have. Yeah. I don't know. So we got four slots on there. So we could have like a big boy group, and
I would be down.
We could have them over, and we could talk about the new Arctic Monkeys.
Well, now that we have this set up, we should definitely do that idea of bringing musicians on.
Yes.
We can most certainly do that now.
And I wanted to talk to you about the idea of reaching out to people and trying to get more well-known people on the show to get us like
famous
street cred.
I wanted to be famous so I can get all that money and fuck all those hookers and do that all cocaine.
And do that heroin.
Oh, you think?
Wait, hold on.
Heroin.
This is the perfect thing. We'll do our story.
We'll do heroin on the show.
Oh my god.
You think I care about the art of podcast? No, I just want the money.
Yeah. So my friend sent me a thing the other day on my Facebook, and it was like, it said career counselor. So what are your talents? And it said person like, I have no talents. I have no personality. I don't have anything. I'll find it for you while I'm talking about it. I have no
personality and I have no talents.
I
do not exist.
it was about podcasting, but yeah, I definitely think we should start reaching out to people. Yeah. I wanted to reach out. And I don't think I can now because I think he's getting too big. Not too big as in like he'll be like
Adam from YMS.
Yeah.
I would love to talk.
Man, I don't know if he'd I don't know, because we're just such a small. So here it is real quick.
Do you want to know one of my secret desires real quick?
Well, let me tell you this real quick so you can get a kick out of this. Career counselor, what are your weaknesses? Dude, well, I have no talent, nothing interesting to say, and zero personality. Counselor, and your strengths? Dude, I think I'm way funnier than I am. Counselor, have you considered starting a podcast? I was like, are you saying that and I said to him, I was like, are you saying I have no talent, nothing interesting to say, no personality, and I'm not funny? Because you're not completely wrong. But go ahead, tell me your dream.
I have a little secret desire that I make a movie, and YMS really likes it. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, who's that fucking woman that really likes 2001: A Space Odyssey, hates Star Wars, but really likes Empire, that Spielberg and Scorsese and all them looked up to? What's her fucking name?
Kathleen Kennedy.
No, not Kathleen Kennedy. For a second, I was like, Kathleen Kennedy. I was like, it is not Kathleen Kennedy. Oh, what's her name?
I'm dying.
Oh, I cannot remember her name.
Anita Sarkeesian.
She has like some like terrible reviews.
Anita Sarkeesian?
No.
I don't know.
She's like, I think she's dead now. She's like from the 70s and 80s, very critical on films.
Oh, I don't know.
And there's just some some of her film reviews on films that we really liked that were just like, these are awful, like they weren't true at all, or we don't see it this way at all.
Yes, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, Josh.
I know. I forget that. I forget I can't delete everybody. Just, I'm right. But no, I think everybody likes to be appreciated for the work that they put in, no matter what it is. And I really like YMS. A lot of times we have the same viewpoints. The times we disagree, I can totally understand why. Like, I understand like his like why he doesn't like something, but like, you know, and I think he's a cool guy. I think he's really cool.
That's the thing.
I think
like,
he's awesome.
I watch.
I think he's probably really nice too.
I think about the things I want to plan out.
Yeah.
And make, and then I think about. Well, I watch a lot of like reviewers on YouTube. I wonder what these people like. I wonder if it would be possible to like take these things that they say they don't like in movies and that, because I think if you, I mean, as long as your intentions are pure and you don't just want to go, I want to make some to see if they can find anything bad to say about it. Just go.
No, yeah.
Well, excuse me. I want to make a movie.
Because then it'll become like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
If there's anything wrong.
Yeah. But I want to make a movie and I want to make it like. As like the best possible version of this idea in my head, so you can get creative criticism from friends, and colleagues and stuff like that, and then you can also listen to like these people who review movies and like find these movies and go, right, okay, so I think this is good, and this person says, oh well, this is an issue with it, and this is an issue with it, and if they worked on that, this would pretty much be a perfect movie, and just use that to like improve your product and go, well, I have like these similar aspects, so maybe if I work on that, I can make it like a better version. So I don't think there's anything wrong with saying like you want to make something to impress someone, as long as you're like, I want to make it for myself, but I also want to make sure that like people I look up to would watch this and go, you know what, this is almost like, you know, they listened to what I said about these other movies, and you'd be like, I did. I want to have YMS on, and I want to talk to him about his music. Because, because
he's an incredibly talented musician.
Yeah, because he talks about, because on the on Sardonicast, he had they had the needle drop on, because I reached out to him too, because
the needle drop,
because I did my Pink Floyd list, because I watched him do Bjork and Metallica, talk about them, and I was like, I could do it in Pink Floyd. I feel like I know enough about Pink Floyd that I could talk about the stuff. And I did, and now and then at the end of the video I said, and also I want to make a friendly challenge to the needle drop, and I want to see what his opinion on Pink Floyd's list albums are, if he like knows enough about them to rank them. So I tweeted at him and I put it in the video, and I said, please share this with him, try and get him to see this. But so they had the needle drop on Sardonicast, and YMS is talking about all the instruments he can play. And I'm listening to it, I'm like, how the fuck does this guy, like, how does his mind work? Because, like, he's like, yeah, I'll just pick something up and work on it. I'm like, first of all, how do you find the free time to sit down and learn an instrument?
Yeah.
Because he's like, I taught myself drums and stuff like that. And also, I would love to say to him, if you ever need drums, I would love to play drums for you. Because I've played drums since I was like in middle school, and I feel like I'm getting better.
Yeah.
Even just teaching myself my own stuff.
Yeah.
And like working on like the molar technique and stuff like that at home. The molar technique is just where like you learn to bounce you fucking. Let me be a drum nerd for a second. You balance the hit with the bounce so that you can do more hits, so you can make more notes.
Oh yeah.
And it just helps to like, because you're not using your wrist as much, so you're like da 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 da, like you can hit once and get several notes out of it. So as like that's what my drum teacher used to say. You should only be like da 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 da, like you should only have to like move like that.
Yeah.
Like you're going bap 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 bap, but you should be bouncing the sticks so you can get more notes out of it. And just like you teach yourself stuff when you're like looking stuff up, and you're like, oh, that would be a really helpful technique to learn, because a lot of heavy metal drummers use that to like get more notes out of stuff, and jazz drummers and stuff, like fucking Buddy Rich used to use it. Like if you watch Buddy Rich, he does like one-handed rolls, and you're like, Buddy Rich is the greatest drummer who's ever lived. Like I watched stuff Buddy Rich did in like the 30s, and I'm like, fuck, I can't even do that. Fuck him.
Fuck you, Buddy Rich.
I mean, that's the have you ever seen him on the Muppets?
No.
He was on the Muppets show, and it's him versus Animal.
So
like so Animal does his drum solo, and then Buddy Rich does it.
Awesome.
Then Animal goes again, just going like do 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 do, and then Buddy Rich does something. And then Animal just looks at him, picks up his bass drum, and slams it over Buddy Rich's head.
I love that.
I do too. But yeah, I'd love to try and get YMS on, and just to talk to him about his music, and then talk to him about other stuff.
What you should do is because the musician group of like Garrett and Johnny and Ben is like breaking up because like they're all moving to Nashville. But I've been hanging more time with my friend Ethan Hansen, doing soundtracking for the film that you're in that'll be coming out very soon. And I
still want to meet Garrett and all that.
Oh yeah. Oh man, you have a very small window. Yeah. It'll be gone.
I mean, I met him, but I was also not in the state of mind to talk to him about that stuff. But yeah.
But no, I'm gonna try and hang out with more of him, and he knows a lot more musician guys, and we want to do some more jams and stuff, and we really like to jam and stuff. I think there's gonna be a jam. It's gonna be a jam at Ben's house when he comes back from his cruise. I think that Ethan's trying to do. And I hope there is, because I still have a lot of my equipment over there of like keyboards and my bass that I need to get back from there.
Yeah, the thing about me is I only know drums. So like, and I know some bass. So like, if I went over, I'd just be like, Ben, can I have a turn on the drums? Ben, can I have it?
Oh,
Ben,
dude,
can I play drums?
Dude, like those jams are perfect, and they're honestly like probably one of the reasons why I've gotten better at guitar, because it's very open. Like people, what you basically do, what a lot of times happens is sometimes like people will pick a song to jam on and just do like a very long
extended jam.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or like we'll find like a key to play in, and we'll just do that, and everyone will take turns like taking lead. The times I usually take a lead on something is like when I'm doing like synthesizer, like just making crazy noises, or like playing harmonica.
Okay.
And then I'll do like rhythm guitar on like the other stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, man.
Yeah. But I want to try and reach out to some more people and try and get them on.
I love the Needle Drop to come on here.
That's it. I was like,
I've only seen his
so
video
cool.
about vaporwave. That's about it.
I'd love to just talk to him and just be like, yeah, what do you think of this? Because he's a lot more into like pop music and stuff, like more general stuff. Like he can do that.
Yeah.
I'd also love to have Todd in the Shadows on, just talk to him about some music and be like, what do you think of these?
But we
artists?
would know what his face looks like.
No, we wouldn't, because we could do it over Skype.
Oh.
So he could cover his face still.
He could cover his face and still be in the shadows.
Yeah. God, I'm gonna see his face. I'm gonna see his face one day, and I'm just gonna be like, "Whoa!"
He's probably like Critical or like the Penguins guy, where it's like, oh, he's got this deep voice, but he's probably like a nerd, and they're like, oh, he's really handsome.
No, yeah, I saw a picture of Critical the other day, and I was like, wow, he's a handsome boy. I don't like his videos still, but
you don't like him?
No, it's just like I watched one of his videos, and it so just did nothing.
I like his earlier stuff. I've watched his newer stuff, and I'm like, this is not fun. His like Bible video one is really funny with like the lion and shit. That I thought was pretty good. But like his new stuff, like I don't think is all that good. Where he's just like, I don't know. There was like some mystery to him when I didn't see his face, and like there was some mystery to his comedy. But now I guess because like he's well known and he does like streaming and stuff, it's just like, oh, you're here for me now. I'm like, oh, I was here for the jokes.
But I would love to have some people on. So I'm gonna start reaching out to more people and messaging them.
Man. And we need more listeners because all of our robot accounts got deleted.
Yeah, we're up to 9.
9.
We finally have more listeners than we have. We have more followers than we are following people.
This is what I'm gonna do. We have an account with Lipson, right?
Not yet.
Oh, we don't?
Okay.
We're on SoundCloud.
So I just canceled the renewal for our SoundCloud one, which will expire on September 4th.
Got you.
So from now until then, we have time to get out in Lipson and start like uploading shit there too.
All right, this is what I'm gonna do. I always say that like, oh, I'll do this, and then like never really get around to doing it. Just make some sounds while I do this.
Okay.
Where is this app?
Did I tell you about the fucking Monty Python one where they're doing like an interview for like Graham Chapman's supposed to be like the prime minister of he's supposed to be like the leader of some sort of like in the cabinet, like you have the Secretary of Defense stuff. He's supposed to be like secretary of something. And he's like, now we have the Secretary of Defense here in a nice gingham dress with a beautiful pearl necklace. And he's like, and he says to him, he's like, so what are your stances on this? And he's like, well, first I'm going to give you twice, Rob.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to give you to it normally, and then I'm sort of going to give it to you in a sort of high-pitched
whiny voice.
And he goes like, So that's what I was trying to do.
Where is our YouTube channel? Do we have one?
Yeah,
we do.
I made it. It doesn't have anything on it. It might not be public, but I made it.
Okay, then never mind. I'll just pull us up on SoundCloud, because what I'm gonna do is, because I posted on my Instagram, and this was really weird. I posted a picture of a video that I've already posted about before. And this, for some reason, got the most likes the third one around, and I don't know why.
Okay.
It got like 48, and the other ones have like 20, and it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
So something, I guess I'm growing a little bit more, so I'm going to, now that we're on the show, live Instagramming with Josh, I'm going to post about our show and see if I can help get us some things.
Yee.
Because I noticed that helped with the Katana Gotri video that we did, and the Plushy Poundy Pad when we did that.
The
Liam,
yeah, the Liam ones.
Yeah, people. And you know what? I don't know who's listening. If anybody, wow, that was cool as fuck.
I was trying to make in the trash can.
I know you were. For anyone who's listening, who's on my Instagram, thank you. Thank you.
A little kiss.
Give you a little kiss. Thank you for liking my stuff, and thank you for following, and I hope you check out the videos I'm doing too. And
you know who else I'm gonna message while you're talking?
Yeah, who?
Super Mega.
Connor. Super Mega, you sons of bitches! We've been calling you out. We need you,
man. Ryan, like,
what are you doing?
I love you guys,
Ryan. I know how you feel. I'm like a muscle boy, but with a bit more chub.
Yeah, we're both muscular.
We're both muscular boys with a bit more chub.
Yeah. And I smoke, so like,
yeah.
we can relate.
We can relate. I didn't grow up super religious, so there's that.
I played in a band once.
He played in a band. Connor played in a band once.
I played bass. I opened for the Misfits.
He opened for the Misfits.
I opened for the Misfits.
You opened for the Misfits.
Yeah. But while you're doing that, I maybe because we're at an hour now. Let's give. Well,
yeah.
We're probably gonna.
Are we really at an hour?
Yeah, we just spend most of our time chatting.
Oh, okay.
So let's get recommendations out.
Okay.
And we can do that. So I'm going to talk about a couple bands. I mean, other than the ones that we talked about earlier, like the Rod Stewart ones. So when I was in middle school, my dad like gave me a whole bunch of bands to like listen to, and one of the ones he gave me was one that I never heard of before, and I have heard very few, like next to none, no one rather, talk about this band, and it is an English blues band called the Groundhogs, led by Tony McPhee. Tony, what was it? I forget what his it's like Tony T.S. McPhee or something like that is his stage name. Who is the least rock and roll looking person you've ever seen in your life.
Oh yeah, does he look like a dweeb?
He has like a handlebar mustache and he's balding.
Oh no.
But he can play that guitar like a motherfucking riot. So he plays like Strats and SGs, and he has this very like acid blues sound to him. And I love the Groundhogs. They're a huge favorite of mine. I think Tony McPhee is totally overlooked as a guitarist. Now, I've showed you Groundhogs before.
Yes.
The song Thank Christ for the Bomb. I'm going to talk about their album Split, which is my favorite album by them, which came out in 1971. It has their biggest hit on it, Cherry Red, which is a huge favorite of mine. We'll play it over this right here, but I'm going to play it for Josh so he can get to hear it.
Ooh. Oh yeah, that sounds rocking as hell.
Big cowbell.
Oh.
And what's cool about them is they were a blues band, like a straight up blues band at first. They toured with like John Lee Hooker and people like that, and fucking Tony McPhee was like crazy, man. Like he would play like these blues riffs and stuff like that, and his guitar solos would be like fuzz and he wouldn't use a pick, and he would get a lot of feedback. And they also have a song. What's it called? Is it Split? They have the album Split has like a suite on it called Split, and it's based on the lyrics are based on a panic attack he had.
Oh, sweet! That sounds great.
But Split Part 4 is cool because it's like mostly a guitar solo, I think. But it's very like.
Ooh, yeah.
That kind of messy, like 60s psychedelic
that,
stuff.
Like, bit of like a swinging sort of like roll it has.
But like a very long solo.
Ooh.
That like Hendrixy like fucking with your guitar.
Yeah. Hitting on that fucking wah-wah. Or not the wah-wah pedal, the
whammy
bar.
And this one's good too.
Or just hitting your guitar in the back of it.
Fucking go, Jesus. There we go. This is my favorite one. Other than Cherry Red. He's like detuning the guitar as he's playing it.
Ooh. This is Groundhogs?
The Groundhogs.
The Groundhogs. Fuck yeah.
And the Groundhogs are great. And the thing the reason I want to talk about them on the show is because no one cares about them. Like they completely like faded into obscurity. And like no one really knows them, and God bless my dad for like getting me into them, because like you hear nothing about them now. Like Tony McPhee's an excellent guitarist who's just kind of fallen to the wayside, and like they have the song "Thank Christ for the Bomb," which I showed you, which is a war song, an anti-war song, and it starts off like acoustic, and it goes into this like march almost, boom 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 dun 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 dun, with like they're like marching off to war, and then it gets like all the distorted guitars and like like fucking bombs going off and shit like that. It's very like Machine Gun by like Band of Gypsies and Hendrix and stuff like that. So like I really like the Groundhogs. They're nothing like too amazingly like complex or anything like that, and they're nothing like they never put out anything lyrically deep or anything like that, but they really were an impressive band, and I wish they got more attention. So that's one of my recommendations. My other one that I'm going to give is I want to talk about Kansas.
Kansas, man. Yeah. Fucking, Carry On My Wayward Son.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Everybody knows Carry On Wayward Son.
Yeah, and like Dust in the Wind.
And those two songs are like
they're very good.
They're very good, but they also do not like represent half of Kansas' discography.
Their sound is a little bit different than both of those songs.
Yeah, they were a prog rock band.
Yeah.
And they kind of I have like a real bad start sometimes.
You got it. I have a very long post about our show I'm going to be posting on Instagram.
Oh, yay.
Time to wait, do you spell Libsyn L-Y?
Lib S-Y-N. Liberate. It's short for Liberated Syndication.
Okay, but like you spell that L-Y-B-S-Y-N?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, I got it.
Libsyn. So you kind of hear this in Dust in the Wind, but Kansas actually had two singers. It was Steve Walsh, who sings both of those songs, leads on both those songs, and then Bobby Steinhardt, which was the other singer, who was like a more bluesy singer, and he sang and played violin. And their first album is excellent. If anyone wants to go check it out, it's very bluesy, but it's also got those like long proggy tracks on it. My dogs are barking.
The dogs are barking.
But they have a song called "Bringing It Back,"
dark,
which is great.
I love that organ. It sounds very Gentle Giant-y.
Yeah. This song doesn't have a guitar solo in it. It has a violin solo, and it's great.
Gonna say. I don't. Never even heard this song by Kansas. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, no, dude, early Kansas were great. Like he does like the. Hold on, where is it?
Not Westminster, Westminster.
It's right here. He's like, doodle 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 doodle. I love that hit. Wait, this part. And then like even the Point No Return, the album they did that has Dust in the Wind off of, that's got some good tracks on it, like the title track, Point No Return, Closet Chronicles, Lightning's Hand, is that off of that one? I forget. The album Leftover Tour, which has Carry On Wayward Son on it, has a song called Magnum Opus on it, which is fantastic. It isn't their magnum opus, I don't think, in my opinion. It's very good.
It's just very epic.
It's very epic, yeah. Like a lot of synthesizer work. So, fun fact: Kerry Livgren, the guitarist and lead guitarist in the band, one who plays guitar solos on Carry On Wayward Son, he was also an incredibly talented pianist.
Really?
And he plays a lot of the. He plays like synthesizer and piano on most of the Kansas tracks, and then Steve Walsh, the other singer.
Yeah,
the one who sings Carry On Wayward Son, was the organ player.
Mm-hmm.
So where's Song for America? Song for America is one of their best. It's like 10 minutes long.
Oh, I've heard this one before.
But like, where's the piano part? It's right here. But like, there's like very little guitar in it because it's all played by the other guitarist.
Uh-huh.
But
ooh. This is very beautiful.
But like, because the thing is, with Kansas are one of the best prog rock acts in the world, and people don't really think about them that way because of like Carry On Wayward Son and that. But they had some serious fucking chops on them. And this album, Song for America, is an incredible album. They have a song called In Comudro. I don't know if that's how it's actually pronounced. Hymn to the Atman.
I definitely need to like boost my knowledge on Kansas and like listen to more of their stuff.
But like this song has a drum solo on it. Because Phil Ehrt, the drummer, was great.
Oh, God.
It's going to be a pain in the ass to like sync up to all the music.
Oh, it'll be cool, though.
Yeah. We're bobbing our heads along.
We are. We're getting into it.
But then, like, I love Steve Walsh's voice. I like higher voices.
Yeah.
Like, to an extent, like, there's some singers with super high voices. There's a band called Pavlov's Dog.
Yeah, we've talked about Pavlov's Dog.
And, God, their singer's voice is too high for me.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Geddy Lee, but, like, with the vibrato of, like...
Oh, yeah, so it just sounds like a high-pitch alarm going off.
It's like... Like, it's crazy. Like... I can't do it. It's pretty unbearable. But I mean, the guy likes. He said, I heard an interview with him, and he was like, "Who's your favorite artist?" And he's like, "Oh, I really like Mike Oldfield." And I was like, "Well, that's my boy. Mike Oldfield's my boy."
Who are you, and where have you been in my entire life?
But this song has like a fucking killer guitar solo at the end.
pickup.
Nah, that fucking Kansas were great, and that's what makes me sad is because a lot of people. My dad once told me he was like, "Yeah, I never liked Kansas. They always seemed like a poor man's Boston."
What?
And then like I listened to more Kansas, and I was like, well, they're not even the same kind of band.
No, I would say fuck. I always make this comparison to them. Boston and what the fuck are they called? Boston does More Than a Feeling.
Yeah.
Fucking
And my peace of mind and Foreplay, Long Time. This is one of my favorites. It's been such a long time. That lengthy instrumental piece at the beginning.
It's not Kansas, but there was another band that's very similar to Boston. I would make that joke. I would say like, oh, it's the poor man's Boston.
Styx?
No, not Styx. I think it's another band that
because Styx are the poor man's Kansas.
Yeah.
They're like, I mean, Styx. Talk about them real quick. Styx also are really cool at times, but they're also a little self-indulgent, and nothing's more apparent than the fucking Kilroy Was Here album.
Oh yeah,
which was just Dennis DeYoung being like, I want to make a fucking concept album that's gonna blow people away, and it's really pretty lame.
That's not the one with Renegade, is it?
No, that's the one with.
No, you're right.
In fact, Todd in the Shadows did a video on it, and he made a joke about Renegade being on it. He was like, but like he said, that's not on that album, but it would fit in with that album, some of the other songs. It's got fucking Mr. Roboto on it.
Oh God, okay, got you.
I am the modern man.
I like Renegade more than Mr. Roboto though.
I like
the jig is up, they finally found me.
Well, that's the thing. Like I think that's why like people ignore them as a prog band is because they had these rock hits that people knew more. But like, you ever heard their song "Angry Young Man"?
Yeah. Like
that's got the fucking killer keyboard work on it. Because Dennis DeYoung, like, he must have been classically trained with like fucking, I don't know, like musical theater and stuff. Because it's like his piano playing is very complex, and then like his singing is very like theatrical. I've always like he's got like very much like that. A lot of the way like his pronunciation works is very like musical theater one. But anyway, so Kansas, yeah, they're really cool, and they get kind of dismissed a lot because like they do have Karen Wayward Son and stuff like that. But like, and the thing also, the Styx are the poor man's Kansas because yeah, they had some talented musicians, but like Tommy Shaw sounded like Steve Walsh from Kansas. And like when I first heard Blue Collar Nights, Long Nights,
Journey.
Blue Collar Man.
Journey is closer to Boston than Kansas is.
Yeah.
Journey, my bad. Sorry.
Do you know
that
Journey?
was so random.
No.
That's what I was looking. I was like, what's the band I always make that joke for? Journey.
Journey are super lame.
Yeah.
Like they have some good tracks, but
they're another hit band for me.
Have I ever told you that they were originally because they came from Santana, because Neil Sean, the guitarist, and Greg Rowley were both in Santana before they formed Journey. Yep.
I did not know that.
And they formed as a jazz fusion band.
Oh, really?
And their first album, which I have somewhere, I can lend it to you if you want, is
That's
like
funny.
Really weirdly like good.
Yeah.
Because it's like they're a little more like loose, and like kind of doing like this more experimental stuff, and like some of the music's really good. And then off their second album, they have a song called "I'm Gonna Leave You."
Oh, okay.
Which has the exact same riff from Carry On Wayward Son. It's and I'm like, that's Carry On Wayward Son. They came out the same year. They were recorded within like months of each other.
That's funny.
And I'm like, that's bizarre.
Oh, well, this worked.
But like,
we'll do it again.
They have like like even that, there's the first couple of albums like has some incredible performances on it musically. Like they had Ainsley Dunbar, who's a credible drummer. Ross Valerie, the bassist, is actually playing interesting stuff. Greg Rowley's a great keyboardist, like you hear from the stuff in Santana, and Neil Sean's an incredible guitarist who just kind of like stopped giving a shit in the 80s. Have you ever heard the story about them when they recorded Don't Stop Believing? He recorded like 5 different guitar solos. Like he just recorded like a jazz fusiony one, recorded like a more bluesy one, and then they were like, this is not fitting with the song. So he went, fuck it. He recorded one that was just the melody, and the producers went, that's perfect. And he went, fuck. He's like, why is that the song that's on the hit that everybody plays? The solo. He's like, it's my least favorite one I've ever played.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, Journey sucks.
Yeah.
They're all right.
Steve Perry he's a
huge dick too, right?
I've heard he's kind of a dick.
I think it's really funny that like he left Journey and then they found some Brazilian guy to sing for him, and he sounds the exact same.
He's Filipino.
And my bad. I'm a horrible racist.
He sounds better now than Steve Perry does.
Yeah, you're right.
So like I'm like, yeah, that's a perfect thing.
Yeah.
Also their drummer that they used to have, they had a guy called Steve Smith who's an incredible jazz drummer. Who played with fucking Journey.
LOL.
But no, he's an incredible jazz drummer. Then they got Dean Castronado, or whatever his name is, who's played with like Marty Friedman from Megadeth. He's played with Steve Vai. He's played with tons of people. He's a very good metal drummer. Very fast double bass work. And he also sings. And there's a song by Journey called Mother Father, which has some incredible like complex vocals on it. And he would fucking sing it and play drums at the same time.
That's crazy.
So I was just like, I guess I should just give up.
But then I guess it's all over here.
But then he beat up his wife, or tried to beat up his wife, so he's no longer on Journey. So that's okay. But anyway, so I'll let you have a little go because I know you want to talk about people.
What are we at? What time?
You should just go.
Are we really far? All right.
We're like an hour 22, but
Jesus.
just go.
All right. I'll do mine really short then. Okay. I'll just do one.
I feel bad because I gave like 2 and it took up like 15, 20 minutes.
We had to make up time for the last episode. So Christoph Penderecki, or Penderecki, is an interesting man. I'm just getting into him. I've heard a lot of his music before. Some of you, if you know the name, you may know this song called Thurinati for the Victims of Hiroshima. And I think I looked up what that definition of that word is. It's basically a lament. So a lament for the victims of Hiroshima. You may have heard this before, but this will be a total shift in a type of music we were just talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. Yaskovich, you're gonna scare our fans.
I'm gonna scare you. I want them to think about Hiroshima.
This is not really a lament as it is like a fucking like horror movie soundtrack.
Dude, his stuff is used. His stuff, Polymorphia, was used in the soundtrack of The Shining. So, like, I'll play that next, too. But, like, I mean, not only is the image on this YouTube video a Hiroshima bomb, but, or the one, rather, it makes you feel...
little boy.
It makes...
Fat man.
Little, fat boy and little boy.
Fat boy and little man.
It makes it feel like you're watching the nuclear bomb go off. And now, like, all the, like, ash is starting to trickle down. It's very like haunting music to listen to.
This is really like
it is
freaky.
It is very intense. And then Polymorphia, which one I think you'll know. I believe it's the one that's used in the opening credits of The Shining by Stanley Kubrick. I'll tell you how you actually pronounce it.
It's Kubrick.
It's Kurako. It's or this isn't in the credits. I think this is in this is just in the movie. This is when like Jack is just staring down his like reflection, and then Danny comes in.
Oh.
But no, yeah, man. His music is it's very good at setting an atmosphere. Quite often an atmosphere of terror.
Yeah.
Like utter, absolute fear. The other one, the Atonement of Christ, is very, very holy. I mean, it's called the Atonement of Christ, and it begins with this very dark choir, and it feels like I'm entering the tomb of the Antichrist. Like, it's just like it's nuts. And I for anyone who's interested in like classical music, or just I guess like classical noise music like this, I highly recommend it, man. It's it's quite a jump. His stuff has been used in Martin.
Like how you put that up to the mic and it's just nothing.
I know, it's a very low tone. You can just have it play over me while I'm talking. Yeah. But yeah, man. The Theranetti or whatever, the lament for victims of Hiroshima that's used in Twin Peaks: The Return. I know that because I didn't watch The Return yet. But I saw the clip that it's used, and it's this fucking nuts. Like, I think it's definitely done with like CGI, but it's done really well. Of a nuclear bomb going off, and it's all in black and white, and the camera, like, it looks like it's a drone shot, like, just slowly goes into it, like it goes into the mushroom cloud, and it's like all this fire and explosion that looked like it did not taste good. You're making a weird face.
The coil's burnt.
You were thinking about Hiroshima, weren't you?
Yeah, and that bad taste in my mouth and the music, and I'm fucking gonna have a stroke.
So he used it, and it's a very crazy shot of just going into a nuclear bomb. Yeah. Apparently, his music was also used. Phosphorescence, one I really like, was used in Shutter Island by Martin Scorsese.
Ooh.
So yeah, man, really good soundtracking music he has. He's really good at setting tones. That's what I'm all about. I'm all about aesthetic and tones.
Yeah. I still want to make write a script. Because I'm not even gonna attempt to try and direct anything for several years, but I wanna have something and then just have like the soundtrack, no music at all, not even because like I know for the one I'm writing right now I want to use like
music that's coming from like a radio, and stuff like that.
Like it's all like music supposed to be
in the world.
Yeah, it's supposed to be in the the world. Yeah. But I also want to make one with no music at all because I think I told you, like, my favorite episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, it's the silent one, right? Where they can't talk and stuff?
No. There's the silent one, but that one has music.
Oh, okay.
But there's also one where there's no... which is funny, because the silent one, YMS put in his scariest childhood memories.
Oh, the childhood trauma one?
Yeah, the childhood trauma one, because it's got the creepy demon guys.
Yeah.
And they, like, are killing people, and they can't scream for help or anything like that. And there's another episode where there's no music, and it's just all played like there's a lot of like long single shots. And I remember watching it, and I was just like, wow, this, and it, like, took me a while to realize there was no music in it.
Oh yeah,
because I was watching it and I was like, holy shit, there's not been any music in this episode. And there's a scene in it where one character goes down into a morgue to look at a body of a loved one.
Yeah.
And in the background, one of the sheets, the bodies under the sheets sits up. Ooh. And it pulls the sheet off, and it's a vampire, and like gets up and goes to try and kill her. But there's no music. There's no like ding when like he sits up or anything like that.
Yeah.
And it's very effective because you're like
excuse me, ma'am. Yeah. Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am, help.
Like I like stuff because I hate when music is used for jump scares.
Oh yeah.
And I hate there's that thing that Ralph the Movie Maker talks about.
Like the movie you're in. We do that like 3 times.
Well, yours is a lot more creative because you use like it's very like like avant-garde in the music. Like it's a lot of like
to edit on
manipulating music and stuff
I
like
to
that.
Edit
Instruments,
and edit on the beats and stuff. But one thing, just real quick, oh man, that's what we need to do. We need to bring Ethan in, and once the movie's out, we should talk about the soundtrack we've made for that, because the soundtrack for that is completely organic.
Yeah,
like the way we record that and made that is just literally from scratch.
Yeah,
we don't use any samples. We don't use anything pre-recorded. Like we all made it from scratch using our own instruments.
Like there's is it Ethan that played the bass?
Ethan played the bass. He also played we had Tim Lyons play on the bass too, but he does a lot of keyboard stuff.
Yeah, so I guess it was Tim and took his lighter and just ran it down.
Oh god, and the stuff. Yeah, that was a lot of fun, man.
That was really cool. But like I don't like it when and there's another thing that Ralph the Movie Maker talks about, and it's in movies when they have that single violin note, like
Yeah.
And that shows up way too much, and sometimes it's just the single, like just in a scene, and it really like
it's like, hey, clearly look over here,
yeah.
You know, it's too obvious,
yeah, and it just gets you. It's turning into a cliche at this point,
yeah,
and just like. There's movies that use their music like that, like they have very creepy music.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, the music in Mother's really cool.
Yeah, I'm on the side of people who actually.
It's a lot of like plucked violins and stuff like that.
Pizzicato.
Yeah. And that had our boy Johan Johansson, right?
It did, and then he died.
He was a consultant for the music, and then he passed, and I'm very sad about that.
Did we ever figure out what happened to him? Did he have a heart attack?
Let me look it up, see if we know any more about it.
We should close out here soon. But like, let's figure out what happened to the murder mystery of Johan Johansson, one of our favorite music composers.
Yeah,
the late great Johansson. And turns out, his Miner's Hymn album is actually a short film. And he has a shit ton of those, and they're on the Filmstruck app that you can download right now. We're not sponsored by Filmstruck, but I really like Filmstruck a lot.
Let's pretend
because I like to watch a lot of artsy old foreign films.
Let's pretend we're sponsored by people and just start plugging this stuff, and then
one thing about Filmstruck, I don't know if it's because their app is broken or like this is actually how it works. I thought it was like a thing of like. You pay like $8. Like
Johan died in Berlin on 9th of February 2018 at the age of 48.
Oh, 48.
Keep talking.
I thought it was like Netflix where like, okay, you pay this amount every month for the unlimited streaming. I don't think it works like that. I think you pay one set fee of $10 and then you just have this unlimited access to the entire Criterion collection. And, like, just watching all these other movies that are on Filmstruck, because they have not been taking money out of my account, so I'm not complaining. Like, if it's just $10, I highly recommend Filmstruck. It's a fucking great app.
I think
you can watch Ingmar Bergman films. You can watch Krzysztof Kieslowski, Michael Haneke. They have, like, early Scorsese on there, Francis Truffaut, everybody. Every artsy guy you know of, he's on there. Lars von Trier, if you like Lars von Trier.
I don't.
I know. No, I don't really either. But like, if you're just like, hey, I want to feel awful for like 4 hours, go ahead.
Just go watch a Von Trier film. Still no thing on what killed him.
Well, the murderer of Johan Johansson is still at large.
I mean, we know it's Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer, yeah. Well, he's a suspect.
We've established that we think he did it.
Yeah.
We think that he took out Johan Johansson and is like currently trapped Vangelis in somewhere. He has him hostage so that he couldn't do the music for Blade Runner.
And what was it? Atticus Ross was there to watch the other guy that did the music for
Benjamin Wallfish.
Benjamin Wallfish, right?
And
he was there. He's a witness.
And what's his name?
Trent Reznor. Now we're just naming everybody who does soundtracks.
Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve.
Villeneuve.
He may know about it, but he doesn't want to say anything.
He's being blackmailed.
He's being blackmailed. So he wants to speak, but he can't.
Yeah. He'd been told the only negative thing he can say about the whole production is about Jared Leto, but he can't name him.
Yeah, I saw that video where he's like, there's one actor I worked with, and I just kept pushing, and I just couldn't push anymore. I was like, I wonder who it is.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe it's Harrison Ford, but something tells me it's Jared Leto.
Yeah. Harrison Ford seems like he's cool. What I thought was crazy, though,
Harvey Weinstein turned himself in. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Good. Sack of shit. But the Jeffrey Tambor one, like he was accused of sexual harassment, and he's still on Arrested Development.
Yeah, there was the Bluth Vote Bluth ad that I saw, and I was like, ooh.
And he was doing interviews, and I don't know if you heard about this. They were doing interviews, and someone asked him, be like, so, Jeffrey, you're accused of sexual harassment. You're going to retire soon. So, what do you got to say about that? And so he's apologizing. And then Julia Walters, is it Julia Walters?
The mom.
The mom, and she starts talking. She was like, I'll tell this story, she said. And Jeffrey started screaming at me one day behind the scenes, she said, and I was very upset with it. And and then Jeffrey Tambor was like, yeah, I really apologize about that. He was like, I'm really working to try and better myself. And then Jason Bateman's like, well, it's like a family. We all yell at each other, and some of the guys are like full on kind of defending Jeffrey Tambor, and I'm like, guys, stop.
Oh no.
So that's a real downer.
I've still yet to watch the new season that was on Netflix.
They've redone it.
Did they really?
They got so many complaints about how it was like paced that they've actually gone back and they've redone it. And
are you serious?
Yeah. The creator Michael Horowitz put out a letter.
It's not Ron Howard.
He put out he put out a letter and it sounds very bitter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like we went back and we decided, hey, you know what? Some aspects of this don't work, so we went back and we redid it. So we hope you guys enjoy this. And I'm like, ooh. Like it does. Like I don't remember verbatim what it says. And now season 5 I think is coming out and
season
the end of the
6.
month.
I think.
Is it season 6?
Because season 5 was the one they put on Netflix.
Yeah. Well, the new season comes out at the end of the month, so we'll see how that is.
Vote.
I thought they should have just because they want to do the movie too.
Yeah.
I think they should kill off Jeffrey Tambor's character and make it about like who's gonna take over the company then.
Yeah. Which I think they'll probably do.
Yeah. I'm surprised that fucking Horowitz and Ron Howard were like, no, we'll keep you on. Oof. I was a little surprised about that. Anyway,
it is like 4:39 and you got to be at work, don't you?
At 6:15.
Oh, jeez.
So I got tons of time, dude.
Oh,
but,
you're right.
Anyway, so thank you for listening, guys. You can find us on iTunes. So please subscribe.
I have to update that post now because I only put SoundCloud and in the future Libsyn.
So yeah, we're on iTunes. Please subscribe on there. Give us a rating. That really helps us out. You also can find us on SoundCloud. We are looking to transfer over to Libsyn. So when that happens, I will let you guys know, and we will do like simultaneous uploads. So it will go on to Libsyn and then on YouTube, and then it will also go to SoundCloud as well until our subscription ends, our like premium subscription ends on the 4th of September, and then we will just shut down that page altogether.
Yeah.
We'll probably upload some of the older episodes on Libsyn as well and put them on YouTube if I can find a fucking video editing software. But apparently Libsyn automatically uploads it to YouTube, so that'll be fine.
Okay, perfect.
You can also find us on Twitter at YoLike'emPod, all one word, no punctuation, no capitalization, none of that. I am at Connor the Harris on Twitter. You can also find us on Facebook at Connor and Josh's You'll Like 'Em podcast. And I still think maybe at some point I'll try and make an Instagram page just for the show, but we'll see what happens with that. And you want to plug your Instagram?
Yeah, man. Totally not sending a text about work. Man, I wish I could spell the word together right.
Oh no, I forgot to text someone back. You give your thing while I go.
As I was mentioning earlier, so basically, the only two social medias I use are my my Instagram and my YouTube, and on both of those I am JB Yaskovich. That is JB, it's just the letters spelled YASKOVICH, no T. You put in a silent T in my name, I just don't understand because that doesn't make any sense. If it's silent, then how did you even know it was there, even though it doesn't exist?
Thanks.
And yeah, man, I've got a lot of stuff coming out. I just uploaded 3 new videos to my YouTube channel that I haven't posted on there in like 6 months. The last thing was there was like a Tyler video. The 3 things that are on there now are the trailer to On the Rocks, a short film I did back in like March of like 2016 or like the beginning of 2017, I think. That's a project that me and like Brooks and Zach and Liam have all been working on for a very long time, or rather I've been working on and they just helped out with. And then another film that it now has an official title. The first announcement of this movie. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Nobody knows about this. The thing you're in it's called Memory Escape. It now has an official title. that will probably be coming out sometime near the end of April, I think. I literally, because I sat down one day and I was like, man, I was thinking of like, man, what have I made? And then I looked in like my filmography on like my hard drive. I was like, I have a lot of things I've been working on, and I have a lot of things I've done with other people. So what now I'm doing is like I'm uploading the stuff that never got released, or stuff that like I've been working on, such as the 2 short films and some of the documentary stuff I did with Bowen.
Yeah.
And then other stuff that I did that did get uploaded, like the collaborations with Tyler, Blake, and my friend Billy. Those are finding out. I'm just going to put on my channel just to kind of like boost up like the amount of videos I have.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, for like the next couple of weeks, every Friday, I'll be releasing a new video.
There you go.
So that'll be going on for a little while, guys. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to take like a little break because I'll be working on a big movie. Big boy movie. Gonna be putting all my things that I got together to make something big, and then I'll take a little hiatus then, and then some of the documentary stuff should be coming out while I'm working on that, and then after a while, I'll because what I would like to do is like if I can distribute that somehow, if it's good enough for it to be distributed, I would love that. But like I'm looking at the plan B where it's like, well, if it's like not good enough to be picked up by anybody, but like is good enough to be like I'm proud of and I can release, I'll just put it on YouTube for free.
Yeah,
like a big movie.
Fantastic.
It'll be all 100% original JBS Good too. The soundtrack and everything. It's gonna be crazy. Ooh wee baby.
Yeah, that's
$1 million bash.
That's some good stuff there.
Man, are my bones tired?
Yeah, I mean, so are mine. Just sitting on this chair, feet up on my bed.
Oh, God.
Super tired. But thank you everybody for listening.
Yeah, everybody.
We'll be back next week with something else, and maybe I was gonna say maybe you can do your own mini thing, but you sound like you got a lot on your plate now.
I do. Which I could probably what I should probably start doing, because I do want to do that. I'll try about like bands and just stuff that I have like immense knowledge on.
Yeah.
I should start writing scripts for those. That's just basically what I should do.
I improvised the whole Pink Floyd one.
Did you really?
And you can when it gets to the first half is very just me talking about the albums and saying why they work and why they don't and why in context. Because the first half is me talking about like the weaker albums, and the second half I get like it's first half is 15 through 8, and then the second half 7 through 1 of like ranking best to worst.
Yeah.
And I talk about why like the albums work and why they don't. So the first half is me just kind of being like, here's why it doesn't work and here's why it might work, and like it gets kind of better and better throughout.
Yeah.
And then the second half I'm like, this is why this album is great, and this is why this album is great. And like the Dark Side of the Moon one, I like got up from my seat and I was like walking around my room. I was just like, I love this so much. I'm so passionate. I used the word stellar like way too many times.
Like a billion times.
Yeah. I noticed that on editing. I was like, oh my God, how many times have I said stellar?
Should have edited like yourself, like just saying like phenomenal or lay epic.
It's like that. This album is awesome. And I just really think
I think it's really neato.
It's this album. It's the song is just really, really great. But it's so like it goes because 7 through 1. It's Piper. It's number 7. Then it's Medal. Then it's The Wall, Division Bell, Animals, Dark Side, and Wish You Were Here. And I'd say from like The Wall to Dark Side, I'm just like talking about how great the albums are. And then it gets to like Wish You Were Here, and I'm like, so number 1 is Wish You Were Here. This album is really good. Like my energy is just gone, and it's just because it's like, because whereas all those ones like, I'm just like, it's so good, and this one I'm like, it's so heartbreaking, man, because it's all about Syd Barrett and like that, and the passion and love that they put into it's great. Anyway, just listen to the fucking thing, you people out there. Yeah, just listen to Pink Floyd rather than hear me prattle on.
Stop fucking around and listen to some Syd Barrett.
Yeah.
Also, that post has already got 10 likes.
Yay!
Ooh, look at that. And
Yay!
I got a follow from it too. So that's cool.
That's great.
Let's give a little shout out to whoever they are. Beat Sound Deck 92. Are you a real count? Oh yeah, you look like a real person. Chief Keef.
Chief Keef.
Little Rezzy and Little Drunk. Chevy Woods plus more. I don't know. What is this? I don't know. This might just be like a fan account or something. But I don't know. Whoever you are, Leslie Sashawansamehi, I don't know how you pronounce that.
Sasha Wenime.
That,
I have no idea.
Yeah, that person. Thanks for following me, and I hope you enjoy You'll Like Them, because we liked you.
Yeah, we like you a whole lot.
You a lot. Stop it. Stop fighting.
Okay.
And then end there.
Yeah. So thanks for listening, guys. We'll be back up next week, and hopefully things will, be a little easier now. We got this new setup.
Yeah, man. Living in the future.
Yes. Welcome to the 22nd century.
Ooh. Oh, no, Connor!